The Trump administration is filled with many cartoonish villains. One of the most prominent, and the one that you probably think of first. Actually, before I say it, I do wonder who you're thinking of, so tell me in the comments. But the one I am assuming most people think of first is Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, who is a particularly vile little man, mostly due in part to his white nationalism, but also his ability to lie without any concern or feeling bad about it. It's scary every time I see him during an interview or on TV. It's just bad vibes all around. I think another one at the top for cartoonish villain is Tom Homan, the border czar for Donald Trump. I won't ever forget his interview with 60 Minutes back in, I think it was October, when he was asked whether there was a way to carry out Donald Trump's mass deportation plan without separating families and without missing a beat. He says, of course there is. Families can be deported together. And we've certainly seen the reckless disregard for human life, for human rights, continuously play out since Donald Trump took the Oval Office again. Now, Tom Homan, who told us exactly who he is in that 60 Minutes interview, has certainly followed through, but we're learning now that he may be benefiting financially from his immigration crackdown. New reporting from the Washington Post says, quote, a leader of the Trump administration's effort to detain and deport millions of immigrants recently earned consulting fees from a detention center company that is expected to benefit financially from the crackdown, according to a federal ethics filing. Before he joined the administration, border czar Tom Homan earned an undisclosed amount in fees consulting for a division of the GEO Group, one of the two companies that operates the vast majority of the nation's immigration detention facilities, according to the disclosure, which was released last week. The filing, which has not been previously reported, did not specify what work Homan performed. The document said GEO paid him more than $5,000 during the 2 years preceding his government appointment in January. Ethics rules do not require any more specific disclosure, and the amount Homan received could be far higher. Okay, well, we have a problem right there with the ethics rules not requiring a more specific disclosure, because it's going to take a lot to get more information. Thankfully, Senator Dick Durbin is quoted in this article. He's the top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, and he's maintaining that this is too big of an issue to ignore. Hopefully, that means Democrats are prepared to get to the bottom of this. And how many of these Trump appointees have these conflicts of interest? I mean, I just talked about RFK and his kickbacks for referrals for clients to vaccine lawsuits. I mean, it's exhausting with these people. Quote, Abigail Jackson, a White House spokeswoman, said in an emailed statement that Homan abides by the highest ethical standards and that he gave up a, quote, successful private career, to work as a high-ranking government official. She cited a statement Homan issued in response to reports about his consulting work in December, when he said he would recuse himself, quote, from any involvement, discussion, input, or decision of any future government contracts that may be awarded. Nonetheless, Homan's recent income from GEO raises questions about whether his private sector work is influencing the Trump push to round up and deport immigrants, an effort that relies heavily on private detention facility operators that contract with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, according to a government ethics expert, as well as opponents of Trump's immigration agenda. I really try to balance the show when I guest host, so we aren't just fighting through the slop, but some stories are too important and we have to fight through the slop a little bit, just a little bit. And this is one of them, because get ready for this next part. They talk about Tom Homan's aggressive push to expand the capacity for immigration detention and the revenue this will generate for GEO. Quote, Much of the increased capacity is expected to come through new contracts with GEO and its main competitor, CoreCivic, which together own at least 16 idle facilities that they have said they hope to reopen as immigration detention centers, according to transcripts of analyst calls, investor filings, and contract applications. Already this year, the government has awarded GEO contracts to reopen facilities in New Jersey and Michigan, in deals the company says will generate a combined annual revenue of $130 million. GEO Chief Executive David Donahue told investors this month that the contracts are just the beginning of what he expects to be an unprecedented opportunity to expand the business, which, in addition to detention centers, operates an air carrier for deportation flights and the nation's largest program for surveilling non-detained immigrants. The Boca Raton, Florida-based company's stock has surged 90% since election night. The profiting off of human misery is something to behold. While he's out here deporting people, including U.S. citizens, including U.S. citizen children with cancer, the profits surge. The depths of depravity in this administration knows no bounds. And of course, this is another area where the administration is fighting accountability, not just in their personal profiting and self-dealing, but when elected officials, when Democrats attempt to conduct oversight visits of ICE facilities like what we saw in New Jersey, they are abused and prevented from doing so and then arrested and charged. It's criminal. It's unjust. And I can only hope that elected Democratic leaders are staying on top of this. And I can only hope that we continue to push them to do so. My name is Brittany Page, and I host the Page Perspective on YouTube, and I am grateful to be here guest hosting today.
After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what The Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get The Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.